Hey guys, this is Nick. I'm a homeless type 1 diabetic. I live in my van in Sarasota, Florida. I want to tell you guys a little backstory about myself so you guys can kind of, know me a little bit more and know my situation. So, this isn't a boo-hoo wah-wah story, for me. This is just so you can understand who I am and the things that I went through in life and why I don't give up, even though I, think about it every day. So, I would like to start out. I'm 43 years old. I was born in Newport, Florida. So my dad was a pretty bad alcoholic, and my mom left when I was 2. My dad was not a very good man at all. He was very abusive. That's why she left. And I understand why she left, but I just don't understand how you could leave your kids in that situation, because we got it way worse once she left. He did get me remarried at one point, and she was just as bad as him. Eventually I went to, in and out of foster care for a little bit because he lost custody for a little while, and somehow got us back. I don't know how, but he did. So then we went, of course, back to the beatings and all that stuff, and eventually he went out of control again and lost us. So I went to stay with my aunt and uncle, where my uncle was not a very good man, and if you understand what I'm saying, in bad, horrible ways. So I had to deal with that for 6 months when I was 8. From there, eventually went back to my father's again a year later, and well, 6 months, that's about a year. And of course, same old crap. Left home when I was 15 finally. My grandmother actually paid for me to run away, his own mother, just because she was tired of seeing me beaten up and bloody by my dad. From there I traveled a lot, and then at a young age I had my first child, my only child, which I love to death, even though she'd be in a butthead right now. She's full grown, she's 23 now. But, I went from relationship to relationship, and, just tried to, I think a lot of it's because my mom left when I was young. I tried too hard to find love, and a lot of that's on me, and I definitely take responsibility for that. I overcare, and it might be a little bit too much or whatever, I don't know. But, I lived a hard beginning of my life, and it set me up for good structure. Since then, I ran my own company. I ran my own company for 8 years before I got sick. And I started out in 2016 in Maine. I opened up Wicked Good Cleanhouse in Brunswick, Maine, and did very well for myself. And then 4 years later, once COVID hit, things started getting slow. Florida was open, and that's where I'm from, so I came back. Then I changed the name to Good Riddance Trunk Removal in Cocoa, Florida. Did very, very well there. Sorry, I just ate a burger, so I think I ate it too fast. I have the hiccups now. But hey, I'm blessed to eat today, so I'm pretty happy about that. But from there, met a girl. She was amazing, most beautiful thing I ever seen. And between getting wrapped up in that, and then I got sick with type 1 diabetes and the breakup and all that, and I lost everything, that was a year and a half ago. And to the day I think about the girl, but I never asked to be homeless. I lost my truck. Once I lost my truck, I couldn't do any more jobs. I couldn't keep up with the payments from being sick. I was in and out of the hospital for a little bit when I first got sick and all that, and it was really hard. And of course, she was an addict, which was, a hard thing in my life, because I was, lived a pretty decent life, and was never really around that kind of stuff until I was with her. And it was hard to be with an addict. And to this day, like I said, I'll always love that girl. Not that I'd ever be with her or anything, but it's just, she's always going to have a place in my heart. She's just, she went through a lot worse stuff than I went through in my life. But anyways, so from there I was in Maine, and got a car over there, and then I ended up homeless in my car. After, and it was going in and out of homelessness since I've been sick, because I can't, I didn't know how to handle diabetes. I still don't know how to handle diabetes, but it was way worse. I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't have a doctor. I went to the doctor 5 times since I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. I just don't have a lot of resources and stuff like that, and it's really hard. And being sick every day, and especially because like right now, I'm not keeping clean. I'm definitely not eating properly. I'm supposed to eat 3 to 5 meals a day, small meals. It's supposed to be 5 meals a day, small meals, but I'm lucky if I can eat 1. But nowadays, and it's got so hard, and I wish I would have, when I was doing good, it's a lot of it's my fault because, when I was doing good, I should have stayed better. But, I had this beautiful girl. I wanted to make her happy and stupid stuff. And, it is what it is. You learn and you make a whole lot of mistakes in life. And sometimes you end up in these bad situations. And it's not something I want to do, not somewhere I want to be, I want to have my boat. That's my main goal. And that's what we're saving towards right now. And I did make a mistake the other day. I said we were at $25 in donations. It was a $10 donation and a $20 donation. So we're actually at 30. I don't know why I thought 5 and 20, but they're still there. They're sitting safely. And one was a PayPal, one was a Cash App. I'm not even withdrawing them. Even if I don't eat that day, I need to get a boat. Living in this van is miserable. I can't even sleep in the back of most of the beds like that right now. I was looking for a fan. I had to sleep up front of the front seat. It's so, even at night, it's so hot back there. I can't sleep. It's so bad. I have to, sleep with the window because there's no windows. So I have to sleep by the window so I get a tiny bit of breeze. So I'm sitting, back in, in a horrible position, which is, just killing me. But at the same time, I'm not boiling to death. My biggest fear is, I'm a type 1 diabetic. I could die, I'm not taking care of myself at all, and I just can't afford to. And, things are, work this last week was really great, but it's scary this week because I only have one job so far this coming up week, and it's a small one. I don't know how I'm going to eat or how I'm going to take care of myself next week if I don't find something, but it's hard being homeless. First of all, I haven't showered in a month and my clothes are gross and yada, yada, yada. So, going out presenting yourself, it makes it extremely difficult. And then there's the fact I don't have an address. I have to go to a job interview looking like crap, and people are gonna look at you like that, and they're like, I'm not gonna hire this guy. He's dirty and whatnot, and I hate being dirty. I don't want to live a dirty life, but it's really difficult because people judge you. It makes it super, super hard. Then there's the fact I don't have my social security card or my birth certificate. Now I make good money when I work for myself. It's just staying busy enough. And I'm going to have my ups and downs as I build, the same way I did when I built my original company. It wasn't just boom, I was instantly busy, It's a process and it takes a little while. But, all I can do is continue to focus and continue to try my hardest. I've lived a very rough life and a very blessed life at the same time. I've done amazing things. I worked with the community. I've helped give to the homeless. When I owned my company, we got so much furniture and stuff like that. I always donated to people in need because it was still good stuff, And I want to get to that point again, and I will. But sitting in this van every day, wondering what's going to happen next is very depressing, And I'm not a suicidal person or nothing, but it's like I always think, well, why am I alive? Sometimes, what's my goal in life? There's got to be more to life than sitting in this van alone for almost a year and a half now, trying my best and failing, and just wanting to get out of this situation. Like I said, that's why when I'm getting my goal is the boat. I got to get into a permanent spot where I know then I can, really focus. When I can actually rest at night, and I can actually, cook, and I can keep my insulin cool, and it's been a mess. Every day I think about giving up, but every day I know I can't. I have my child, which even though we're not talking right now, still, and my grandchild, grandchildren. I have 2 of them, and I want to be, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather. I want to be a normal person. I want, people look at me like I'm a normal person, not like I'm some homeless bum or something like that. And it's really heartbreaking and really, really, depressing and to not know every day and to be, my skin is like shining like this because I've been sweating all day. I am greasy, I am nasty, I am hot, and it's miserable. I'm depressed because I sit here by myself. I don't have anybody to talk to. Nobody asks me how I'm doing unless it's here on this channel. Nobody calls me to check in on me. I live a very lonely life, and I don't want to die alone. Nobody deserves to die alone. I don't want to die in this van. And it's sad and it's depressing, But anyways, that's just a kind of little bit of story about my situation. But I am trying. I go out and look for work every day, and I've pulled off quite a few jobs already. It's just with the price of fuel and the cost of food and the cost of everything, I can't come above. But anyways, like everybody doesn't know, the links in the description is how you can support the channel. Any support goes to the boat that we're saving up for. Like I said, our goal is $7,000. No, I'm not expecting to get $7,000 in donations. I'm going to hopefully be working for a lot of that. But the links are in the description, scrolling below, and also the URL code. It's not expected, but it is appreciated. If you guys can like, share, and subscribe, that's absolutely free. Follow along my journey. I'm going to be posting updates every day, guys. You know, say hi. It makes, you know, check in on me. It makes me, you know, somebody who's really, really depressed and lonely. It makes a whole lot of difference. It's a hard thing to be sitting in this van every day by myself. And I'm not saying boo-hoo me, poor me, yada, yada, yada. It's just, it is what it is, and it's a rough life. And it gets depressing. So anyways, I hope everybody has a great day and a great night, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.